Yo, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was ain't open that mouth. Sure that she talking and open that mouth. If it say something, we rubbing it out. And then it's something it out. And then it's got and it's part of this nothing.
And now from an undisclosed location, you are now tuned in to the Xander Effect with host Xander Dames.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. It's Friday night and I feel alright. The party's here on the west side, so I reach for my 40 and I turn it up. Designated driver, take the keys to my truck. Hit the shop cause I'm faded. Honey's in the streets, say money, yo, we made it. It feels so good in my hood tonight. The summertime skirts and the guys ain't canine. All the gangbangers forgot about the drive-by. You gotta get your groove on before you go get paid. So tip up your cup and throw your hands up and let me hear the party say, I'm kinda buzzed and it's all because
This is how we do it.
South Central does it like nobody does.
This is how we do it.
To all my neighbors, you got much flavor.
This is how we do it.
Let's flip the crack, bring the old school back.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. All hands are in the air and wave from here to there. If you're an OG Mac or a wannabe player, you see the hood's been good to me ever since I was a lowercase G. But now I'm a big G. The girls see I got the money, $100 bills, y'all. If you were from where I'm from, then you would know that I gotta get mine in a big black truck. You can get yours in a 6-4. Whatever it is, the party's underway. So tip up your cup and throw your hands up and let me hear the party say, I'm kinda buzzed, so because
This is how we do it.
South Central does it like nobody does.
This is how we do it.
To all my neighbors, you got much flavor.
This is how we do it.
Let's flip the track, bring the old school back.
This is how we do it.
I'm kinda buzzed, so because
This is how we do it.
South Central does it like nobody does. Nobody does. YNB, SCC.
This is how
My
we do it.
homies, I'll never come back on an old school track.
This is how we do
Check
it.
it out. Once upon a time in '94, Montel made no money and life show was slow. And all they said was 6'8" he stood. And people thought the music that he made was good. They lived the DJ and Paul was his name. He came up to money, this is what he said. You and OG are gonna make some cash. Sell 1 million records and we're making the dash. Oh, I'm buzzing because
This is how we do it.
South Central does it like nobody does.
Do it.
To all my neighbors, you got much flavor.
This is how we do it.
I'll never come whack on an old school track. I'm kinda buzzed, so because South Central does it like nobody does. Nobody does. Oh, it's party time.
This is how we do it.
Straight up coming from the west side.
This is how we do it.
Oh, she's got the flavor, yeah.
How we do it.
And money does it like nobody does. Yeah. Come on now.
And this is how we do it. All right, because it is Friday. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Xander Effect. I'm your host, Xander Dames, and that was Montel Jordan's This Is How We Do It. Had to play that song because it is Friday. Friday the 13th, mind you, but it's still Friday. And with me on this wonderful Friday the 13th, I got my co-host, Mr. Jeremy Miller. How you doing, Jeremy?
How you doing, Xander?
Another great day. Hopefully luck follows you, which I don't know. I mean,
Not usually.
Yeah, I figured. Not me either, so I'm there with you. And of course, we have our wonderful other co-host, Miss Lonnie Rivera. Lonnie, how you doing this wonderful Friday?
Doing great. What's up?
Nothing much, you know. I mean, how's Pittsburgh treating you?
It's cool. The sun is shining. So, we've had a lot of really nice days. So I'm good. It's treating me well.
Nice. You haven't stubbed your toe or anything? No bad luck yet?
Nah.
Everything's good on Friday the 13th?
Yeah, everything's good so far.
Nice. Let's hopefully it stays that way. I mean, I got to tell you one thing that was actually, Jeremy and I, we actually, and Jeremy, I haven't told you this yet. Actually, we actually had lunch yesterday with your brother.
You didn't tell me we had lunch yesterday.
No, but will you let me finish? We had lunch yesterday, and with your brother Josh. And
where'd you guys go?
That's what I was going for. Actually, we went to Doghouse here in Burbank. And have you ever been, Lonnie?
No, I know I've driven past it, so it sounds very familiar.
So good.
Really?
Oh my God, so good.
German food or like bar and grill?
Jeremy,
great.
I want to leave that one to you.
It's a burger and dog place, but basically, gourmet sausages, kind of fusion toppings, and they have curry, turkey bratwurst, and they have all sorts of different stuff. I tend to go for the hangover burger, which is just a classic, perfect cheeseburger served with a nice runny egg on top.
Sounds good.
Which is one of my favorites.
Nice runny egg.
Oh, come on.
I can't do runny eggs.
Wow.
It's one of my favorite things in the world.
You would have loved the one I had. I actually ordered the holy aioli, and oh my God, that burger's so freaking delicious. Actually, where I was getting at is that I took a picture of I was going to go ahead and take a picture of the burger before, but I was like, I just ended up just demolishing that sucker as soon as it hit the table. I was already done, and I was like, oh crap, let me take a picture. But I took a picture of it almost done. It actually came out really nice. So after I took that picture, I tagged at Doghouse's IG, and one of the partners of the restaurant started following me.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's freaking cool, So I don't know, maybe I could go ahead and talk to him about, getting some advertisement here for him. Maybe get a couple of free burgers over there at Doghouse. I'm sure, Jeremy, you wouldn't say no to that.
You'd never get me to say no to that. And I do know that I know Doghouse is really active social media wise. So that doesn't shock me terribly. That's awesome that they did that.
That's smart.
But I do know that they tend to be, their franchisee owners as well as their corporation is very active and really engages. So that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, he followed both IG accounts. He followed my personal one at Xander Dames 1, and he followed the podcast one, which is at the Xander Effect podcast. He followed both of them.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that was really cool of him. So who knows? We might actually be able to.
Hopefully, a lasting friendship.
I know, very much so. That's the friendship I'd love right there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But moving forward, I mean, we got some really cool stuff to talk about today, including in entertainment news. It looks like Wonder Woman 1984 might go the same route as Mulan did, as Disney Plus's Mulan did. According to sources, looks like Warner Brothers is considering doing HBO Max release about a month after the theatrical release. And this is due to the fact of the matter that there's a COVID-19 spike here in the United States. So they're concerned about that, and seeing as we might be facing another complete shutdown again, they're seeing it as an opportunity to go ahead and treat HBO Max, subscribers to a treat, which Disney Plus kind of did the same thing with Mulan. And they released, the theatrical version of Mulan. It was supposed to be released in theaters, but they released it on Disney Plus back in, I think, September, where you had to pay $60, some ludicrous price to go ahead and watch it, which doesn't make any sense because it comes out next month anyway on Disney Plus. So who knows if they're going to do the same thing with Wonder Woman 1984, but they're definitely looking towards that direction, which would make a lot of sense. And it's also an opportunity for them to spike up subscribers, because although they've been hitting their mark financially, they still cannot keep up with Hulu, Netflix, and Disney Plus. They're still behind as far as numbers wise go with subscribers. So HBO Max and Warner Brothers, they're trying to compete with them, and they're just not hitting their mark. So they're hoping that maybe doing something like this might actually help out with subscriptions. So that should be actually interesting. I mean, like, you know, again, Jeremy, you work for Warner Brothers. What do you think of their plan right now?
I'm only a little shocked in that they've already pushed Wonder Woman back so many times at this point. You know, they really were holding out for a full worldwide, you know, theatrical release. You could tell they were really pushing, hoping that things would start moving in a better direction overall, and maybe they could get a bigger in theaters release. So they've really held out for this. And this, I think, kind of signals the fact that they're recognizing that we are having a spike. Things are not going the way they were hoping and not clearing up as rapidly as they were maybe hoping it would. And they're having to accept that if they want to do this, if they want to do it on the large scale that they're wanting to, this may be the best way to do it. And at the same time, boost their subscription numbers and give them the kind of, like you said, the numbers boost, the business boost that they're looking for as well.
Yeah, I mean, and Lonnie, do you agree with that?
Yeah, most definitely. It's a sign of the times right now. I have to say, Wonder Woman is one of my favorite superheroes. I've never dressed as her.
She's my favorite too.
Well, I was going to say, growing up, she was certainly mine.
Oh my goodness. Linda Carter, I thought was just so beautiful. Such a beautiful woman.
Amen to that.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
To this day, still, that woman doesn't age. She just gets better.
I know.
Looking.
I think I saw a photo of her and she still looks really good. Yep. So I love, you know, what she represents, and just in the culture that right now it is cool to be a strong, I mean, it's always been cool to be a strong woman, but I think now strong female characters is definitely cool when it comes to film, TV, when it comes to art. So I love that they're pushing it, and it's just a sign of the times right now, right? Yeah. When are we going to go to the movies again? Who knows?
I miss it too. I actually miss going to the movies. I mean, I used to go by myself, and like I told you guys before in previous, you know, episodes. Yeah, it's so much fun because I mean, I don't get to hear like somebody talking in my ear, Jeremy. You know, and
excuse
just,
me, don't you even, you know? No, don't you even do that. You know that I am not someone who talks.
I know.
Don't you dare paint me with that brush.
I know. I'm just messing with you. No, it's so funny because, you know, like Jeremy's that type of person. He's a lot like me in that aspect that it's like if he goes to the movie, he doesn't want to hear the play-by-play.
That's how I feel.
He's like,
I can't stand when people talk during the movie, especially being in a theater. So it just bugs me.
No, it's for me, it's right up there with, you know, hecklers at a comedy show. Nobody came to listen to you. You know, It's just that simple. It's an incredibly entitled, very selfish thing to do.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So, I mean, and I agree with you as well about the character being such a powerful, I guess icon, figure, role model. Yeah, exactly. Towards young women, and I mean, Linda Carter, she embraced that even at at the time, where women empowerment really didn't exist at the time when she played the character of Wonder Woman, but she did such a great job with the role. I mean, she did an incredible job. She was both beautiful and she was powerful in that role. So I mean, and God, she's just gorgeous.
Hey, and when you think about it, the costume is still on point. Like that costume is still what she wore, even today holds up. How many times do we see someone dressed as Wonder Woman for Halloween?
Yeah. Still, I mean, even with the new modern look that Gal Gadot brought to the character, to the new modern version of Wonder Woman, you still have young girls dressing up like her and everything. So, yeah, I mean, glad that Warner Brothers is going to give us a treat because, I mean, people do want to see that movie. Not only that, but I mean, you got Zack Snyder already teasing about, and Jeremy, we talked about this yesterday, actually, in lunch, where he's already teasing about doing a miniseries of his version of the Justice League. So it's going to be kind of a miniseries. It's going to be split up in parts because it was such a big movie, such a large movie that he made initially. And this is actually going to it's going to run, and then it's going to, from there, he's deriving from there Justice League 2 that he's going to film. So a lot of really cool stuff coming to HBO Max. So looking forward for next year, for 2021 with HBO Max, because they got a lot of really cool stuff in the
it seems like HBO Max is killing it these days. I don't know. I mentioned this to you, Xander, before. I don't know if you guys ever watched Lovecraft Country.
I remember you brought it up, but I haven't seen it yet.
It ended, like the final series ended. But if you get a chance, if you have it, check it out.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thanks for that. And I'll be looking out for that one. In other entertainment news, speaking of HBO Max, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion is actually going to be taking place on HBO Max, and the trailer just came out today, and the trailer is amazing. I mean, you had the entire cast, of course, minus the late James Avery, who played Uncle Phil on the show. They all come together. They all get together in the living room set of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and they basically talk about their experiences, how they, how the acting, how the chemistry was with one another. But the surprise at the end of that trailer is the return of Janet Hubbard, who played the original Aunt Viv in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and she was, I believe, she was either, well, Lonnie, was she let go, or was she, or did she quit on her own accord? I mean, how did that go exactly? I don't remember.
That's a good question. I knew that there was some kind of falling out. I don't know exactly if it was a conflict, I believe, between she and Will Smith. But Jeremy, maybe you can fill us in.
I can add a little bit to that, but only what we really heard around the studios. So it is secondhand. I didn't have any, direct information from Alfonso Ribeiro, who was my only friend on that show. I wasn't really familiar with anybody else.
Okay.
But even he didn't really go into that. That wasn't anything I ever asked him about or he ever divulged to me. So anything I heard was really secondhand on the studios. But yes, it did seem to come from a rift between her and Will early on. Both of them have addressed this many, 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 many times over the years, and it was quite acrimonious for a while. Mm-hmm. But it seems that as they've gotten, a little more maturity, especially Will, I believe he reached out and there was some mending of fences in the last year or so. A lot of it, I believe, had to do with some perceived diva issues with Will and him kind of running the show, where she was an established actress who didn't feel she needed to deal with that. But again, this is not direct information. This is just...
Most definitely, and I see what you're saying, but and I guess maybe we might get some of those questions answered in this special, because it looks like Will Smith sat down with Janet and basically, for the first time in 27 years, for an emotional reunion and a candid conversation. So we might get some of those questions answered, in this reunion special, actually, as far as, what happened and, see exactly what they talk about there. But Will Smith is also joined by, the series regulars, Tatiana Ali, Karen Parsons, Joseph Marcel, Daphne Maxwell Reid, and of course your friend Jeremy Alfonso Ribeiro, and of course DJ Jazzy Jeff is also going to be there too. And it's a very interesting reunion, because it's funny because they actually DJ Jazzy Jeff was kind of put on the spot there by Will, basically saying that he didn't want to saying that Jeff didn't want to act, and he was kind of pressured by producers to say, dude, we need you in here, we need you to act, kind of thing. And he did a great job, I think, as for the recurring role that he would get on the show. He did a funny, he was really funny, just some of the stuff that he would do.
I have to agree big time. I mean, the shtick that they gave his his character. And I mean, the little bit with Uncle Phil constantly tossing him out, or where it even got to the point where he would literally physically throw himself out the door to save Phil the trouble. It was a wonderful, wonderful shtick they had going, and it was one of my favorite parts of those earlier episodes and stuff. It's cool to hear that maybe he wasn't quite so keen on it, but to see that he did such a good job anyway, that's really awesome.
Yeah, no, he just, it was so crazy. I mean, one of the episodes that sticks out is the episode where he's being chased by the helicopter, by the police or whatever, and he runs out the door and he does what every suspect we've seen on a chase do, which is run with his hands, arms flapping and flailing in the air. You know, I saw that so many times.
That's funny.
He did the impression so well. It was hilarious. But yeah, Jeff definitely did a great job. And of course, the cast also talked about James Avery as well. They said that, you know, pretty much he brought a sense of Shakespeare to the role of Uncle Phil. And Will Smith recalls the episode where Will Smith meets his real father, and it was such a very impactful scene where at the very end of the scene, you know, Will Smith says, "Why don't he want me, man?" And then he's crying, and then Uncle Phil just embraces him and gives him a hug, and Will is just bawling. He's crying, and he says he remembers James whispering in his ear, "Now that's acting. What you just did, that's acting right there." So that was huge for him to hear that. And you know, you have the cast pretty much, you know, remembering him crying. I mean, because James Avery was just like the chemistry that Will Smith and James Avery had is just, you know, it's
he had a presence about him, and he held the show together. I mean, I know the show is about Will, but without his uncle, would not have been Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because he added that element of, you know, the Fresh Prince needed an authoritative figure like him. So.
And like a father figure. He played that part like incredibly. Like James Avery did a great job. I mean, he was funny. I mean, like whenever Will did something stupid, you always are like, where's Uncle Phil at? Because he's gonna kill him. He's just gonna kill him. And he did such a great job in that role. And it's gonna be a really cool reunion special that HBO is going to showcase for the rest of us. I mean, it's definitely going to be something to watch, you know, so make sure you check your local listings as to when that reunion is going to pop up, because it's going to be great. In other entertainment news, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 script is now completed, according to James Gunn. And the thing is that it's just so funny because Marvel and James Gunn have had an off-again, on-again relationship. He was fired from Guardians of the Galaxy, and then he was rehired again to go ahead and do it. Now, here's the thing. It looks like maybe the way they rehired him was kind of a bittersweet type of rehire that they did with him. I don't know. I mean, just by the sounds of it. But according to Twitter, it seems that for the time being, he's on there. He's going to direct Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and he went ahead and he tweeted, quote, "Script is written and most of the production heads have been hired." So it's good to go. They're ready to go on this. But it seems that this might be his last hurrah with Guardians of the Galaxy. He sat in the director's chair and he basically said that, you know, it's probably going to be the final one for him, and it might be the last one with the current team of Guardians of the Galaxy, with Peter Quill, Rocket, Groot, Drax, Gamora, Nebula, and Mantis. So maybe somebody might be leaving the group of the Guardians. Who knows? I mean, it would kind of follow suit with the comic book, because I think Drax wasn't really a part of the team of Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, am I right about that, Jimmy? Because I know you're kind of a comic book nerd.
I am, except for Guardians, unfortunately.
This is one where I'm kind of weak. The only thing I know is Zoe's in it. Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jeremy,
I know
Jeremy's no help right now. You're
I
killing
mean,
it.
of course, I know the films, but I don't know the canon in this one. It's one of the Marvel ones I'm not as familiar with. So I do believe that Drax was not around as much. But again, I didn't delve very deeply into these. My brother Josh was the comic book hound, and he introduced me to many different series at different points, but Guardians was not one of the ones that he didn't think I would enjoy it very much. It just wasn't one of the ones he introduced me to very deeply. So
wow. Yeah, I'm not, it escapes me right now. I'm not really too sure whether or not Drax was in there a lot, because I remember watching an animated movie or TV show or something like that, and in the animation there was no Drax. So I think maybe Drax is the one that might be leaving.
Well, you have to remember as well, these type of ensemble films are always going to run into this kind of thing, and it's not always about conflict of character or anything else. Even though superhero movies are lucrative, not every actor in the world wants to spend the rest of their life playing this one character. And
yep.
That's just
they get typecasts, right?
Exactly. And it, I mean, look at even as you were, I think, going to say Robert Downey Jr.
Downey Jr. Yep.
He's looking to move away from that iconic character of Iron Man. Now, there has been some talk that maybe he'll pop up in one of the shows or one of the, remakes or that kind of thing, but he's moving away from that. Again, it's not that he didn't love the character. He's talked very passionately about how much doing this has meant to him. But at some point, actors want to stretch and do other stuff. And you do get tired of playing the same thing over and over.
I mean, and I'm assuming that you're also talking from experience as well, because being typecasted as Ben Seaver over and over again must have gotten on your nerves for a little bit.
Well, being the age I was, it definitely got on, it definitely was something I ran up against. But at the same time, I never tired of playing Ben. Even after 7 years, I loved playing the character. But that being said, at that time, I was looking for other things to do. The types of films that I was being invited to audition for, or scripts that were being presented to me, the ones I gravitated to were very different from Growing Pains. So as an actor, I was looking at horror films or a couple of weird sci-fi action things, and one of them that I was offered, as I talked about before, was The Power of One, which was this big dramatic film that my very good friend Stephen Dorff ended up getting. That they unoffered to me when they found out he was interested, which again, I love him and he was brilliant in it. And it was a great film in my opinion, but it was a very dramatic, powerful piece. There was very little funny in that film at all. So those were the things that attracted me at that point. Not because I was tired of Ben, but as an actor, I wanted to do something different. So I can understand where, as a performer, even though the paycheck is good, the camaraderie is good, you're having a lot of fun doing it. Performers want to stretch and they want to do different things, and that happens very, very often.
Yep, it's very true. And, at this time, just like also Chris Evans was another one that also, was getting typecasted there for a second. And it just, he was a little bit more broader, when it came to his acting and everything, because he was able to actually get other parts. Because obviously he got the other, like right after Captain America, right after the Avengers, he basically got the part of that dude in Knives Out, which was again another awesome movie. It was a great movie, and it's one of those things where he was able to get out of that whole typecast of being Captain Steve Rogers in Captain America. So, I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible. And, we'll just have to see and find out what happens to all these characters, who exactly is going to be leaving Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And we'll just have to wait to see and find out. We'll see what happens. Coming up next, we have a special guest on the Xander Effect today. Kaleo Kaleo Wassman. He was part of the band Pepper, and man, I gotta tell you, that was one of my favorite bands in the early 2000s. But he's got a brand new single that just came out. Well, actually, a brand new album that just came out with the band Sabotage Soundsystem called Sabo 2 is the name of the album, and we'll talk a little bit with him about that. But first, here is Steppin' Out by Sabotage Soundsystem right here on the Xander Effect.
This are the greatest sound.
I'm going somewhere that I want to be. Anywhere to get some fresh air and view the life that's right in front of me. They say a lot of things are impossible. The way I heard it was impossible. You take away the words that people say and trust yourself, you'll find it comfortable. Well, I'll let this music guide my way and follow these notes that let me play and sing my perspective, and maybe make some sense. Cause I'm stepping out, yeah, I'm getting out of line. Watch as I go, I'm gonna do what I came to do. And this time I ain't going back, cause I'm stepping out, yeah, I'm getting out of line. Watch as I go, I'm gonna do what I came to do. And this time I ain't going back. It took a while, but it's happening. Some old beliefs that I'm unraveling. On a walk with no one else to talk, I heard a voice that got me listening. It said, no need to worry about the past, my friend. Then now your end will never come again. And living well is the stories that you tell, so make them big because we're listening. Well, I'll let my feelings guide my way, follow these notes for one more day, and speak my perspectives, hoping they make sense. Cause I'm stepping out, yeah, I'm getting out of line. Watch as I go, I'm gonna do what I came to do. And this time I ain't going back, cause I'm stepping out, yeah, I'm getting out of line. Watch as I go, I'm gonna do what I came to do. And this time I ain't going back. Where is it that I'm trying to make it to? Have I gone too far for my own good? Just like a shuttle that launched in the air, and I'll be shaking through the stratosphere. Oh, until we fall. Mission control. I ain't coming home.
Well, you know, I stick the roots and culture vibes that tell you in a different style and different pattern. Keep the fire blazing, hotter than hot, each and every time.
Cause I'm stepping out, yeah, I'm getting out of line. Watch as I go, I'm gonna do what I came to do. And this time I ain't going back, cause I'm stepping out, yeah, I'm getting out of line. Watch as I go, I'm gonna do what I came to do. And this time I ain't going back, cause I'm stepping out, yeah, I'm getting out of line. Watch as I go, I'm gonna do what I came to do. And this time I ain't going back, cause I'm stepping out, yeah, I'm getting out of line. Watch as I go, I'm gonna do what I came to do. And this time I ain't going back.
That was Sabotage Soundsystem Steppin' Out right here on the Xander Effect. And with us is the man that is a part of Sabotage Soundsystem and a part of the band Pepper, Mr. Kaleo Wassman. How you doing?
Good morning, everyone.
How's it going, man?
It's going really, really well.
We're already starting off Friday the 13th like craziness right here.
It's technical difficulties. Mercury's not in direct. Is it direct? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Venus is in her third trimester. I think that's what's going on with all.
Uranus is up mine. I mean, it's crazy right now what's going on right now with everything. But dude, Kaleo, dude, I mean, it's really awesome. It's an honor to have you on the show, man. I was a fan of Peppers when you guys came out with Give It Up, man. It was an awesome song. The first time I heard it, I was like, did they just say what it? Yeah, wow, that was okay. Yeah, that was pretty much my reaction. It was like me going through a tunnel on a cell phone where you can't really understand most of what I was saying. So, I mean, it was definitely an awesome song when you guys brought it out. And you guys have just amazing music. Definitely my style, like kind of like really laid back, really mellow type of island type of music.
Cool.
And it's just, man, I got to tell you, man, it's a great pleasure having you on the Xander Effect today, man.
Oh man, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. I love talking to people that are inspired to create and have fun, and that's exactly what we get to do here now.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely something that we definitely enjoy having you on here and everything. And yeah, man. Like I said, it's it's one of those opportunities that is very rare, and I'm enjoying it. And but you got Sabotage Soundsystem out right now. You have Steppin' Out. I mean, it's a brand new album called Sabo 2. And dude, it's really cool, like having you, like having a brand new sound coming out of you, out of a brand new band. I mean, how did you bring this together?
Well, the funny thing is actually Sabotage was started in 2009. And so we released a album outside of our own record label. See, Pepper's record label is called Law Records. And so we were able to put out kind of like this bulk of music. The Sabotage Soundsystem was always about making these unpretentious tracks, not super produced, more on the raw side. And the Sabotage Soundsystem actually helped me out a lot on a different kind of creative vibe, because with Pepper at that point in 2009, especially, Pepper was already a very established band, and so we had a team in place, and it's really it's awesome to be able to have that kind of respect for the recordings and to make it as professional and as polished as possible. But the Sabotage Soundsystem was definitely a throw into the punk rock of what we grew up with as well. So I was able to do this project originally in 2009. The first album came out then with the sound guy of Pepper, who we grew up with in Kona. His name's Remy de Rochemont. So it was really just a two-man team. I was the creative, he was the producing engineer. And we were able to really do like a guerrilla style recording. And so it was like one of those passion projects where it's like, yes, we don't have to go to the studio. We don't have to make a polished recording. We don't have to make sure that, we're trying to make a hit. We don't have to try to get, a radio friendly track on the album. It's just fun. And so we were able to do all of that at a beach house and basically just do it, with the most primitive recording equipment ever. And it really kind of spun into its own thing, and people were kind of digging the rawness of the tracks. That was really encouraging. And now let's go to COVID 2020. So here I am.
No, let's not.
No. This is the best part. There's so many great things about this year, and this is one thing that you guys get to look forward to. So many artists, because of the technology that the world that we live in right now, we're able to make this music at home. So what Sabo 2 was almost a surplus of music, because I'm right now recording a new Pepper record. I'm recording a new project for Law Records called The Naughty Dawn. I'm also co-writing with so many different artists because we can work remotely nowadays. So Sabo 2 was actually kind of like the way that I wanted to do it was presented as a gift. And the reason why we could do that is because we own our own record label. So Sabo 2 was really just music that I was creating with a friend remotely that lives in LA. His name's Wayne Lothian from English Beat. And we were able to put this music together and release it for free because we own our record label.
That's awesome.
We can do whatever we want. And the whole point of this track was, get this, people. We have so much time to record some music. Here is some music for free, releasing to you on all digital platforms. You can listen anywhere. There's no expectation. If one of these songs out of the 17 that were released, if one of them can just bring you 30 seconds of joy, then the mission is complete. And that is really what we wanted to do with Sabotage, and we were able to do that through Law Records.
Dude, you guys are amazing for doing that. I mean, especially right now when people need something positive in their life in such a negative atmosphere right now, that's huge for you guys to go ahead and do that to your fans, or I'm sorry, for your fans. Yeah. And that's a huge deal to do that, man. And you guys are also working with music producer Ronnie King as well, right?
Oh, so me and Ronnie, the first time that I met him was actually on the album that you first heard, was Kona Town, which Give It Up was on. Mm-hmm. And so we were introduced at West Beach Studios in LA on Sunset, and we just started our working relationship. And I've been working with him on so many things for over the last 20 years. And we have that project, another project called The Naughty Dawn. Again, we have all these projects in works because we have been able to have this time not to tour. And when a musician doesn't tour and you have the capability to record, you do. And I have been in the studio since March 9th. The last show that we played was in Santa Cruz, California, March 8th. When I got home on March 9th, I haven't toured since. And it has been fantastic just to be able to explore this part. Now, when you're a touring musician like we are, and we have been touring for over 20 years, the mold is set. And it is really, you tour, you get home for a couple of weeks, you get ready for the international plays and the one-offs, you get ready for the festivals, you come back, you go into the studio for 4 weeks, you blast out as many things as you can, you go back on the road, and then you come back for 2 weeks, finish up the record, and then release the record, and then you go back on tour. This is really the first time, and I'm so excited to hear what people are going to be coming out with for the years to come, because this is the first time where I've been able to actually dive so deep into the recording process and to be able to explore sonically and to be able to further the sonics instead of just bass, drums, guitar, which Pepper is. I've been able to really, really, really experiment and expand the creativeness that I have going on. This is what I'm talking about. I can't wait to see how many other musicians have been able to have the time to do this and see what happens and see what I get to hear.
No, that's awesome. And the thing is, well, first of all, shout out to Ronnie King for, he's the one that actually arranged this interview. So thanks a lot, Ronnie King, for that.
Oh man, that guy is just fantastic.
He's amazing. He's a really great guy. But I wanted to ask, because I know that recently you had to cancel one of your performances because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
That was for Halloween, right?
Yeah. So, not only has every show been postponed, right? But so trying to maneuver here into this new set of mandates, it's really important to get the show correct, because if you do a show that is not correct, then you hurt not only the industry, or more importantly, the safety of the people that are showing up. You hurt everything, and it has to be done precise and correctly. So after months of planning this experience with the pepper wine, again, there's other things happening too. Like, we make our own wine now. We're like award-winning winemakers.
No, I saw that. We'll get to that one, because I'm curious about that too, because I'm like, wine. Huh, how you doing?
It's a brilliant way to drink for free. Nice. Anyway, so we had this pepper wine experience. And what we do here is we bring like an acoustic setting to the wines that we make, and we pair our music acoustically with the wines that you taste. So we really, we had to have a really long gamut of talking and making sure that this went on correctly. And we got it to the point where we felt 100% confident. Now, the day before the show happened, the county that the show was supposed to be in just shut down. It was Halloween. There was too many parties happening. And so it was, it was a protective situation of the county, which I applaud, because no matter what, the safety of it is, and you have so many different like points of view of COVID, right? Mm-hmm. One thing is for sure, COVID definitely has an effect on all businesses, and it has an effect on the people that it harms. So to be respectful in the sense, I was so happy that that even though the show was disappointing not happening, I'm so proud that the county that it was in made a very hard call, and they shut down every event that was happening that weekend. And we just have to go. You have to go with your gut, especially if you're in charge of people like that. And for me, it was fantastic because it was a great learning lesson. I know now with more confidence that the next time that we do this, it will still be all the work that we did for this show getting canceled isn't in vain. We are just preparing for the next show and the next show and the next show.
And that's really cool that you guys are that you guys have that point of view, because it is all about the safety. I mean, we've been talking on this show about the different cancellations that have happened both in sports, entertainment. I mean, we just got done talking about that just now, and it's something that unfortunately is not going away anytime soon. So people have to we have to adapt to the situation, and it seems that you've been adapting pretty well as an artist, and with making sure that everybody is safe. So I applaud you for that, because you're definitely doing what many people should be doing, which is watching each other's backs.
Yeah, I mean, we are, we have, like you just said it perfectly, man. We have to evolve. That's exactly what human beings can do. We evolve, we change, we adapt. And it's really important right now to, have patience with people adapting, have patience with yourself adapting, and make sure too that, the kindness that you can show yourself, it will be spilling over to other people. And so try to be kind with yourself. Try to understand, look, we don't know. We don't have it all down. But if you can just find the softer edges, if you can just find find the good in all those little things. And like I said, canceling the show was a disappointment, but it was a fantastic situation to be able to plan for and build a show like that. That's why when things happen again, these things start opening up, then we have that template. We know how to maneuver a little better and a little better. And that's basically what it is. It's just getting a little better and a little better and a little better.
No, that's really cool, and I know that it's tough on the industry trying to get stuff going as well. I mean, Jeremy, you're in the industry, because I don't know if you knew this, Kaleo, but Jeremy Miller, he was actually on the TV show Growing Pains. He played the little brother Ben Seaver on the show Growing Pains. So I mean, he knows all about trying to get stuff going and cancellations and stuff like that. When it comes to different situations, as far as what the world is going through. I mean, Jeremy, would you agree with this type of atmosphere that's going on right now?
Oh, absolutely. And Kaleo, hey, it's really nice to talk with you, man.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Jeremy. I mean, over this podcast. But wow, awesome.
Over the podcast, it is what we have to do nowadays at the moment. But hopefully we'll get to meet up at some point, man, because I got to say I was a fan as well. But, I really like what you were saying about respecting everybody adapting. I'm seeing it go on in our industry as well. People developing. I even had a very good friend of mine who's a very funny playwright write a Zoom TV show for a bunch of, awesome. And I mean, that's what it was. And we basically filmed on Zoom in the first few months of the lockdown just to give us something creative to do and have some fun with. And
awesome.
So I really like what you were saying about that, because I'm seeing it on all levels of entertainment and creativity and that kind of thing. But I really wanted to ask you, because I was intrigued looking at your website. As you said, the Naughty Dawn is going to be coming out. It really, in reading the description, I wanted to ask you, was that really something that came out of this? How it seems like it's a departure from some of the other type of music. The description had a very mystic, dare I say, even psychedelic feel to it. So, you were talking about, sonic sound waves and drawing people through sound. And where did that come from? What drew you to doing something like that?
Well, so I've been working with Ronnie King, again, goes back to Ronnie, on this project called The Naughty Dawn. And the music, actually, what those sonics that we're looking for, right? Because it does get to a point where in the genre that I'm in, and it's so based off of that pure Jamaican reggae sound, and also it's also based on like the punk rock that we found growing up. And so with those parameters, you basically have this. You have bass, you have drums, you have delay and reverb and echo, you have guitars, and you have keys, and you have a vocal. So Ronnie King and I, who are on the over the 40 side, we started to work with these young DJ kids, and these kids just have these sonics that are so brand new to me, especially when you're talking about like a EDM kind of situation. Now, electronic music isn't something that I listen to a lot, but with the fusion that happens with analog and this brand new digital sonic and where music is going, it's so helpful to be able for me to expand and co-create and not just get, so myopic in what I've known as far as sonics, but to be able to release control from my music and allow other people to go and just morph it. So the sonics get to a whole nother place. And you brought up, psychedelic. Yes, I'm a huge fan of psilocybin as well. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay. So we now, when I get to be unattached from the sounds that I thought needed to be there, now I'm able to expand the art even more. And so with this Naughty Dawn, and yes, this it is a bit cryptic. It's very, I would say, in the vein of something like a Daft Punk, where they had their entire story was just so unique, and so out there that it really inspired me. It's like, you know what, we can actually bring this Naughty Dawn project, this Naughty Dawn character, to a whole nother level in the genre that I'm already established in. And that gets me even more excited. It's these sonics that I'm going to be bringing into this genre, which is, I like to say, this American reggae genre or States reggae, basically, because when you talk about the purists in Jamaica, when you have that pure Jamaican reggae sound, it is so different. But the American reggae genre, year after year, continues to grow and grow and grow. And now bands back in the day, especially after Sublime died, and then when that popularity of the music kind of went down, there was only a handful of us that we really wanted to carry the flag. And those bands I can count on my hand. It was Slightly Stupid, it was Pepper, it was One Draw, it was Chapter 11, and it was Bargain Music. And of course, I'm missing a couple and Long Beach Dub All Stars, they were just on a whole nother level, like 311. They were on
Dirty Heads too, a little bit, right?
And the Dirty Heads, you know. So, and which, a lot of those bands, I think, it's now it's just Stupid, Dirty Heads, and Pepper left over from that. But what we were able to do is we were able to carry that and then be able to watch bands like Revolution, Stick Figure, and Iration all start to come up under us. And so now we're getting to a point where there is so much of this States reggae situation, and all based off of, pure Jamaican reggae. But again, completely different. And so with this sonic and the Naughty Dawn, I can't wait for, because I've been a statesman in this genre for quite a while now. I can't wait to take the sonics to another level than where I'm finding them now. And this whole COVID situation has allowed us to go into the studio so we can create that by getting us off of the road and getting us away from, the ritual. We've been able to, okay, so what do we get to hear next? And now I'm so excited because we are going to be able to release these new sonics and see what happens and see how it changes the landscape again.
No, man, you have me really, really excited to hear it.
I love how passionate you are when you talk about your music. And it just seems like you have such a commitment to evolving, which is so great to hear. It's awesome. I want to listen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I actually, it's funny because I wanted to. I actually was wondering about something. Well, actually, Lonnie, you were wondering about something involving Kaleo's name, actually.
Yeah, I just happened, I know Xander sent us the bio on you, and I thought your name was really cool. Also just the fact of growing up in Kona, which I had questions about that, because I've only been to Hawaii once and I loved it, and I want to come back there soon. So your name is such a cool name, and when I looked up your name online, there was another name I'm like, is he from Iceland? An Icelandic band. So can you kind of explain? It sounds like somebody's biting your name.
Oh my God. Oh, these fucking guys.
Are you from Iceland? Are you from Iceland? I mean, come on.
No, not this lifetime. This lifetime, I'm actually from Kaleo Kona.
Nice.
And so with Brett Bollinger and with Yasad Williams and we create Pepper, and we're all from the same town. And Kona back in the 90s was so small. We always used to say it was a little town on a big island, because the Big Island is truly known as Hawaii. The whole state is, but the island is as well. So, but locals over there, we just call it the Big Island. So we were able to have this incredible, amazing kind of just island lifestyle of surfing in the water, fishing, diving, hiking, just this this beautiful, picturesque landscape. That was the backing of the three of us. And then when we were able to hit a certain age where, it was either going to be waiting tables for the rest of our life or try to give this music thing a shot in the mainland, which is what we call, the States. It was, okay, well, let's just put in our 2 weeks notice right now, which is not an easy thing, because when you're working in Kona at a restaurant, you're making like $250, $300 a night. And when you're 18, it's just like, do I really want to leave? Like, this is incredible. I get to be here. I'm my friends, my lifestyle, which is, wake up, go surf, and, go get something to eat. And
that's the life right there.
And then you go hike, and then you go get ready for work. And, like back then you're like, it's like, you're walking out with like $250, $300 a night waiting tables, while also meeting a whole bunch of chicks that are visiting from the mainland who just want to hang out. And it's like, okay, we're just really going to walk away from that. And then, yes, we did. The three of us just packed, a bag, and we stumbled into, this lifestyle that we have. So many fun mistakes and learning lessons, and so grateful for all of them. So to wrap this up real quick to your question, Kaleo is a band from Iceland that happened, I think they came on the scene like around 2009. Now, the band is incredible, actually, to tell you the truth. They're really, really talented, really good. The translation of the name, though, they've gotten horribly wrong. They say that it is the sound, but actually in Hawaii, in Hawaiian, Kaleo means the voice. And so my parents are such incredible musicians, and they gave me the name Kaleo o Kalani, which is the voice of the heavens. So that is the Kaleo. Nice. Yeah, that's the Kaleo section of that question. And then, growing up in Hawaii, I just described to you, it really was paradise. And walking away from paradise to go get a dream you wanted to chase was one of the hardest forks in the road that we ever took. But if we didn't take it, it would have meant like we would have just known the same over and over instead of something completely different.
Who were your musical influence while you were living in Kona? Who were you listening to?
So Hawaii, especially back in the 90s, we only had one record store that didn't sell any records. They sold tapes, of course, and CDs were
back in the day. Yep. You're bringing me back on that one.
Exactly. So the music for us was, in Hawaii, it was mainly Hawaiian and reggae. That's really what you would hear only on the radio. Oh, and of course, Top 40. Top 40 would cut through it. But we didn't even have MTV. In Hawaii, the joke is we get everything 10 years later. Okay. So we didn't have any MTV or anything like that. But what happened was there was a radio station on another island, the Oahu, which Honolulu is. And so Oahu had this radio station back in the day called Radio Free Hawaii. This station changed our lives because after like 10 p.m. when you could actually get like a really good signal from their tower, you could pick it up all the way on the Big Island, which is islands away. And so we would listen to what they were playing. They were playing like Beastie Boys, and they were playing like The Clash, and they were playing all of this music we didn't know. And we were just like, oh my God, this is opening everything up. And so we were able to start, listening to more. And that is when, like, when you discover new music that you're never hearing, it's just such a great opportunity. It's like, oh my God, you remember, you guys, all of you remember listening to something you've never listened to before, going, what is that? I need this. And so we were musically starved in Hawaii, but once the buffet opened with Radio Free Hawaii, then that's when we started to understand more of who we wanted to become.
Yeah, and definitely, I mean, I was going to ask you, when you first started, when you first got into the band and everything, I mean, the three of you, I mean, obviously you guys were all childhood friends, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't meet the boys, though. I kept going back to, so I'm actually born on Kauai and then went to Kona. And then, I went to the east side of Hawaii. And so I was kind of I was the late guy to the party with them. Yee and Brett, the rhythm section, they were friends since elementary school. I actually met Brett at 15 or 14, something like that. And then me and Brett started playing, music together. And then that's what we talked to Yasad later. And then we started playing music.
So you guys just, you guys automatically knew what your destiny was going to be, from the very get-go.
Yeah, and it's never really like this is what we're gonna be. It was more like, hey, fucking bored, man. You want to play some music? Yeah, let's try this. Let's and back then too, when we started playing a lot, Brett and I were like, always like, God, we were so mind blown with like Alice in Chains or like Soundgarden. Like this was like just coming to Kona, and we're like, whoa, this is incredible. And then all of those like MTV. You guys remember the MTV Unplugs?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love Unplugged.
Oh my God. When I was able to like watch Nirvana and Alice in Chains Unplugged, I was just like, what?
Nice.
Wow. I am so blown away. And we had acoustic instruments around, so we were able to like mimic that. And that was like, ooh. And then, of course, opening that door, we just searched for more music and searched for more music and searched for more music, and then started to like expand in that sense. But we really just did it because, I mean, like I said, like Hawaii's like, it's such a paradise, but after a while, like you're looking for something else instead of just, being in the ocean or hiking or playing soccer or surfing or stuff like that.
No, and going back to what you were talking about how you had to leave paradise, to go ahead and chase your dreams and everything. I mean, the good thing about that is that even if, and this is a big if, even if nothing would have come of it, you still could have always gone home too.
You know what? We always joked about that. And when we first moved here, that was the underline was, hey, none of us are getting jobs. And if we get jobs, this band isn't going to work. So it was really like all or nothing when we got here. We held each other accountable for when we moved out of Hawaii, going, look, we know how easy it is to wait tables. We're not going to do that, because then we're just going to kind of just have the same situation, but over here. So we decided, like, no one gets jobs. If we starve, we starve. We have to play. And wow. Yeah, and to that day, I mean, the three of us have not worked for anyone except for ourselves since 1999, May 12th.
Wow. That
is Leslie.
Yeah, tell me about it. That's incredible to go ahead and actually like really take that much of a risk. I mean, because you hear people come out here and they do exactly, maybe that's the secret, is to not work for anybody else when you're trying to like, make your dreams come true. Because I mean, there's a lot of people that come out here, a lot of actors that come out here from out of state and everything, that get jobs, waiting tables and everything, the whole spiel, the whole Hollywood spiel. And then they leave, like, I don't know, about maybe a year later, and it's like Los Angeles, California, it's a revolving door of people coming in and out of here all the time. And but you guys proved it that, basically, I mean, if you really need to stay focused on your craft, you have to stay completely focused on your craft, and not let any distractions derail what your vision is or what your dreams are.
Yeah, for us, it worked really well. And of course, there's so many, I hate saying it this way, but it's true. There's so many ways to skin a cat, right? Please, from PETA, don't think I skin cats, but right. But honestly, like there's so many ways to do it, and for us, it was in total alignment with what we had to do, and so, but like from the time that we started to actually get paid gigs, a lot of things happen. I mean, that's when I first learned how to fast. And now I'm a huge faster. I love fasting. The power of fasting is really, really incredible. And I've been fasting since the late 90s, just due to the fact that we didn't have anything to eat. If you wanted something to eat, you really had to find a girlfriend for the night. If you wanted, food and water were not necessities at the point. At the point, it really just came down to getting songs written and finding a place to play with the guys that you're with. And I have to say, there's been no bigger blessing in my entire career than having Brett and Yasad with me during all of this, because it really is a brotherhood beyond blood that I was able to we have watched each other go through everything. We as a unit have gone through a lot, and it's really, really incredible to have that kind of family base. Now, you were talking about a revolving door in LA, and a lot of these actors don't have that kind of unity. So that might be something that I would be interested in, if actors kind of moved out kind of like in troops, versus, just kind of like going all out on your own.
Like have a support system.
That's actually really funny. There is definitely. If you look at the people who have come out together and have had that support, you have, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. There are multiple other people. I've had a lot of friends who came out solo. I only have one who actually made it. But you do hear about a lot of people like that with Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn. And, when you have some support, when you have people that you're working with, and like you said, bouncing your creative ideas off of and people to feed off of, I think you definitely up your chances of success.
Yeah. And not only that, how much more fun is it to co-create with people?
Absolutely.
Facts. Facts on that. Yeah. And I completely agree with you on that. And that definitely, it just goes to the whole, teamwork makes the dream work, that old saying. And that's very true in art. I mean, it can't be that it's a dog-eat-dog world. With that kind of attitude, you're not going to get anywhere. I mean, you have to have a support system. You have to have each other's backs and try to get out there and be happy for one another when one becomes a success and the other one doesn't. Because at the end of the day, that person that became a success is going to somehow, some way pull you with them. They're going to pull you with them. That's just,
even if it's by inspiring you to work harder.
Exactly. So, that's definitely cool that you guys stuck it out. And you guys became a success, with your hit single. Give It Up was huge. And I got to ask you, going actually to that, how did you guys feel when you the popularity just went from 0 to 100, within a matter of days?
We were not even focused on that. We were so in the trenches, right? Where we were just pounding pavement. We were doing 280 days a year, just playing shows. And it was in a van with a trailer with our brothers from Slightly Stupid, going through Nebraska, playing a 60-person venue at a bar, and doing that for years and years and years before any of that Give It Up happened. And so what we were doing was, no, this is what we do. This is how we do it. And at the time, now all of a sudden, okay, cool, we're getting to eat. Okay, cool. We're getting to at least make sure that we're paying our rent, but we never really allowed that, I would say, that rush of excitement overtake anything. What this did though was add more momentum, and that with that momentum we were able to continue to do it more strategically, and with that we were starting to be able to take an extra week off. And all of that started to come around. And so it never really was a moment. It never really was like we're a success. We were basically going, great, this is some great momentum to where we want to go next. Where do we want to go next?
And you guys definitely went far with it. I mean, from that success, you guys were able to branch off and do different types of projects. I mean, you were able to also create Law Records, right?
Yes. So Law Records is, it's such a fantastic thing because we did all the major labels. We did the minor labels, the major labels. We've gone through all the hoops with those peeps. Then we decided, you know what? There's because of this genre, it keeps growing and growing. We need to start taking care of some younger bands and, allow them to know some things that we figured out because they're here, they're looking at us and they're going, hey, we want to do that. Now, what Law Records is, it's basically this safe place. It's a safe label for people. It's a very boutique too. We really, really only want to bring on the people that we truly believe in and also allow them to know with complete transparency, look, this is the deal. And it's so easy that, our record deals, the ones that we were signing were like 17,000 pages, with like Atlantic or Lava back in the day. This Law Records page it's just like one page. And so it's, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is it. We can't wait for you guys to be in our boutique label. And so now it feels just karmically right to know that these kids that are coming up, and these kids, they're kids. They're like 20, they're like 22, So these kids are coming up, but now they have one less thing to worry about, getting fucked really. And now they get to put all that focus and energy on creating even better music. And so that's what we're so excited about at Law Records is that now that we have removed that kind of like cloud of your mind of like, well, am I ever gonna get out of this contract? Am I ever gonna repay all the numbers that we did? Which, by the way, is such a horrible thing to think about when you're trying to make music. Now, all of a sudden, these bands, they completely understand, they're on board, and then you get this unity going. And when you're playing, if you're playing reggae or States reggae more appropriately, you understand that music is from the pure Jamaican style of the art form, the origin of all reggae. Reggae was really inspired by 1962's Jamaica liberation from England. And so it's celebratory music. It's music about hope and positivity and unity and getting rid of oppression. And it's just so beautiful when you think like that. So now just to be able to take it a further step here in America where we bring these bands together while still supporting like the true vision of what reggae music is. Now we've got something even more expansive, and now we get to create on top of that again.
No, and that's definitely something cool that you're doing, because I mean it's kind of like the label that the Xander Effect is signed to, 50/50 Global Music Inc. I mean the way that our executive producer Quest Cross does things is for the benefit of the artist, not the label, because he's an artist himself and he's been through these types of situations where it's not beneficial towards the artist. So that's why he created this label as well. I'm sure you did the same thing for Law Records as well, because you're trying to look out for the artist, not so much for yourself. You guys will get, like, the way you look at it is we'll be taken care of one way or the other, but the artist needs to, especially when they're young and they're trying to make their dreams come true, because you were there. You put yourself in that position. So that's really cool that you guys are doing that as well, for up and coming artists, rising stars and stuff. So I mean, that's really cool. And I mean, going back really quick to Give It Up, I got to ask you, the lyrics of that song are really funny. That's actually what attracted me to the song to begin with. I mean, I love the song itself, but the lyrics are hilarious.
Oh yeah, no, we love to laugh. We really love to have a good laugh and a good time.
No, and that's very apparent. I mean, I saw the music video and it was a homage to Weird Science. Oh yeah. I mean, you guys did your version of Weird Science in the music video, and I got to ask you, I mean, who inspired the song to begin with?
Well, I'm going to put it this way. We have very rambunctious fathers. And we
it's in there. I was going to ask about that too.
Yeah. We have rambunctious fathers, all three of us. And so to tell you the truth, like as tongue in cheek as the song may sound, there's more reality and truth interlaced with it than you would think.
Oh my God. So
with that being said, words don't teach, but experiences do. And that was a great experience for all of us to learn. That's a very diplomatic answer for you right there. I like that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely like I'm listening to it. I'm just like, wow. That's kind of messed up, but it's funny at the same time. I like laughed about it when I listened to the song when it first came out. But I mean, again, going back to how that success was able to branch out many opportunities. You also started with your wife, Melanie. You started the Rebel and Muse, a podcast actually, but also you have like retreats and stuff like that as well. Yeah, and actually, Lonnie, you might like this because his wife is actually a yogi as well, just like you. Because Lonnie's actually a yogi as well.
Yeah, you guys, I'm a big yoga person. Been practicing a long time, and I like to practice at the beach. So if I ever come to Hawaii, I definitely will try to find out where to practice. Where does your wife practice?
Oh, so we live in Oceanside, California. Now, she is from Kona as well.
Okay.
Melanie is a 500-hour YTT Reiki master and a Yin yoga instructor. I'm a 200 YTT and a Reiki master as well. So what Rebel and Muse is, it's another business that we'll get to all the business as well. But it's another business that we've started where we love our retreats, where we're able to really immerse our retreaters back into nature. And in fact, we did it about 2 weeks ago in Central California, the Santa Margarita Hills. So like the ranch is back there and all the mountains back there. And so what we get to do is remind not only ourselves, but the retreaters that when you are having a little foggy or difficulty with sorting some stuff out, how important it is to remember your tools that you learn and go into nature and use them and get back and get back to that connection. You perfectly said, you go down to the beach, you have a practice at the beach. Mm-hmm. So you are diving.
I teach at the beach too. And then one of the big reasons I have a 200-hour vinyasa flow, and I'm looking I was going to go to Bali again to get another 300 hours this year, but because of COVID, I've had to delay it. But yeah, it's like, what better way to connect with your inner self? I say it all the time. Whenever I just go to the ocean for 10 minutes, I live in Long Beach, calms me.
That's so beautiful. And so when I was approaching yoga, the reason why I wanted to do it is because I had a meditation practice prior to any of the asana work. And so when I came to it, I was really using the asana part as a technique to allow myself to sit still in my meditative practice longer. And I've been meditating for a very long time, and it's the one beautiful aspect of my life where I get to remember.
I can tell you meditate. You're so chill and you just have a really, we're not even in person with you, but from the moment you've been talking, you just have this very positive Zen, would you guys agree? Quality.
Oh yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you. And I think, one of the greatest things for all of us to have is the knowledge and opportunity to do that self-work. So when I said earlier about, it's really nice if you can be kind to yourself, because that will spill over into other people. And then that kindness is going to spill over to other people, but you have to fill your own cup. I look at it this way. You guys remember let's say the Great Gatsby movie, where at the giant party that he's having, they have these champagne glass pyramids where the bottle pours at the very top. And once that glass fills, then it spills over to all the rest that are holding it down and holding it down, holding it down. So just imagine that champagne is that love, that kindness, and allowing yourself to be the top glass and really filling up beyond, it's going to be able to chandelier the champagne, a lot of C words, down, down, and get to all those other cups as well. And so it's a really, really important thing for me to have that meditation practice in place. It's something that has been so vitally important to who I am becoming, by remembering that it took everything I've ever done to get to the moment that I'm in now.
Awesome. I can't tell you how much I agree with that. Having been in recovery for many years now and working with others in recovery, that is a point we try and stress all the time. People think it sounds selfish when you talk about self-care and having to look out for yourself first and keep your, like you said, to allow that love and energy and empathy and everything else to flow from you. And as long as that's full and you're healthy, you can then give that and take care of others and so on and so forth. And it's something we try and focus on a lot in recovery.
Mm-hmm. It's a really just, it's such an easy idea that is so infinitely important.
And that's cool, man, that you guys, that you continue. I mean, because it would seem that you just continuously keep on giving back. All the blessings that you've received, you keep on giving it, trying to give back the blessings, which is really cool for you to do. And I'm wondering, does this also help your creativity, your creative mind? When you're meditating and things like that. I mean, obviously ideas do come to many when they're in that Zen-like state. So, I mean, is a lot of your musical ideas come from this practice?
It's meditation, right? I really love to tell my friends who don't meditate, and this is the easiest explanation. You don't have to be a monk in a cave or on top of a mountaintop. You can bust into meditation any time, anywhere. What it takes is awareness. So if I am aware that my body or my emotions are not feeling the way that I want to, it's a perfect direction and indicator to let me go, you know what, Kaleo? Let's just take 5 minutes. Let's get out of here real quick. And with that 5 minutes, I'll be able to just calm myself, use my breath as the anchor, and remember, and I have no control over anything except for how I react to any situation.
That's right.
And with that, if I'm, let's just say I'm at the desk writing, okay, and it's not flowing. I'm not having a good time anymore, and I start to feel not happy. This is a perfect opportunity for me to be aware of. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sit down for 10 minutes anywhere that I am. I'm just going to find some silence, and I'm going to get so far away from the resistance that I'm actually feeling. And I'm not going to even try to think about what I want to happen. I just want silence. I just want to sit. I just want to be still. I don't even want to think about anything musically. And I'll go. And I won't even make it a point to try to get all zen and write an incredible song. I'll actually just leave the conversation completely and allow myself to take the focus off of that subject. And when I do that, that's when things start happening, and I start allowing a different conclusion to happen because there's no resistance in the frequency that I'm offering.
Nice.
Very well said.
That is very well said. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And I got to ask. So you got Rebel and Muse going. You have your treats. You have everything else going. I got to ask about the wine. How did that start? The pepper wine experience.
So our partner, Thomas Booth, he came to a show in 2017 when we were playing in Paso Robles with a band called the Tribal Seeds, and he tried to sneak a bottle in that he had made. He's a winemaker. He went to Cal Poly to study wine and marketing, and he brought this bottle of wine and tried to sneak it in so he could give it to us. Now the security was not going to have this, so they were like, "No, sorry, you're out. You can't do this." And he's like, "Okay." So he direct messages, and here's technology happening. He direct messages Yasad. Yasad is the drummer, Brett's the bass player. And he sends a DM and he says, hey, I got this bottle of wine for you. They won't let me in. So Yasad hits me up and he's like, well, Yasad knows that I'm the complete wine fan. Have been since I was 4 years old. My mom's pure Sicilian, so it's one of those it's going to happen.
Nice.
And so, yeah, so he's just like, hey, Kaleo, this guy has one. It's like, well, we're about to go on. Can't really help him out. Tell him to just stash it. So he digs a hole outside of the venue by the fence and he sticks his bottle of wine in the hole, covers it up, and then goes into the show, rocks out. And as he leaves, he texts Yasad one more time, DMs him and says, hey, I got this bottle. It's still here. It was on the outside. I dug a hole. Can I just give it to your merch guy? And Yasad's like, yep, no worries. I'll have him come meet you. So our merch guy goes out, grabs the bottle. Now the merch guy is cool with the security. The bottle gets to the bus, show's done. This is my ritual. After a show, take a shower, and I get to be alone for a little bit on the bus where I'll have usually my first meal of the day. And it's just usually a salad with all of the fun stuff in the salad. And I'll have a glass of wine. So a salad and wine is my favorite combination. It's better than burgers and fries.
Same here. Here.
A salad and a bottle of wine. I'm not going to lie to anybody. I'm not having a glass. I'm usually having the bottle.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to have a huge salad and a bottle of wine. And I'm sitting there and I have my favorite wine called, at the time, it was called Los Vascos. It's a Chilean Cabernet, which I'm a huge fan of. And I'm seeing this bottle on the bus. I don't know how it got there. It's like, I wonder if that's the bottle. Now, on this bottle is a sticker of our album, Kona Town. Just a sticker. And I'm like, all right. So I'm eating my salad, drinking my wine. I kept looking over, and it was like the bottle would not stop staring at me. And now, keep in mind, I'm alone on the bus. It's like one of those rare times that you are alone on the bus. And I'm eating and had a great show, and I just eat my salad. I look over, just staring at me. So I'm like, all right. So I grab it, I look at it, and I'm like, okay. And then I got in touch with Thomas, and then we started creating wine together.
That's awesome. That's cool. That's a really cool story, actually. I mean, and what kind, do you have various types of wines? I mean, do you have Cabernets, Merlots, white wines? I mean, what do you have with this wine?
So, we weren't going to license the name. Pepper has a really predominant name being as established as a band as it is. So we didn't license the name. In order for this to happen, I wanted to make sure that we were creating the wine with our wine partner. And so we started very grassroots, small investment here. Our very first wine was our red blend, which was just a very simple Petit Verdot and a Cabernet Sauvignon. The grapes were both from Paso Robles. And then we sold out so fast. It was a really delicious wine. We were able also, before I forget, to make the art on the bottles kind of reminiscent to the albums. And so now we're just taking the very strong, our albums are very bright, very colorful, very, just huge color. Our fan, Ben Bruff, who we know from Kona, has done all of Pepper's art. And so we just kind of made them subtle, made them monotone, added just the strongest parts. So now all of a sudden the fans could have an association with the artwork on the album with the bottle of wine that we were making. Inside the bottle is the most important thing that we created. So we had our blend, it sold out. Then we did a blend 2, and then we did a In With the Cab, which is a Cabernet, again, based off of some album art. We did our Malbec. We have a Chardonnay.
Nice.
Yeah, and so now we're doing our third blend, which is a Tannat Petit Verdot, which we're really excited about. But the greatest thing, and since 2017, we have 6 medals. Bless you. We have 6 medals from the San Francisco Wine Chronicle, which is the biggest national competition, wine competition. And so we have now started to get these accolades where we're getting that, I would say, reinforcement of the wine we knew was delicious.
Wow, man.
That's awesome.
I want one.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get a bottle after the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you guys hit up Ryan, and we'll get some bottles sent to Jeremy, Lonnie, and you there.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Thanks for that. And I mean, with that, I mean, it sounds like you guys are, I mean, you're definitely expanding on your success and everything. I mean, you have all these projects going on. I mean, what's right now, like, obviously you have Sabo 2. The response is incredible from what I understand. I've heard that the response has been huge by your fans. They love it. And I mean, with COVID-19 going on, hopefully this isn't going to be the new normal forever, obviously. What's the first thing you want to do as soon as you guys get the green light to be able to tour or to do what you would normally do?
Probably open up some wine.
Celebrate. I love it.
I like it. Yeah, no, that's definitely a good way to do it. I mean, when it comes to touring, what are your guys' plans so far? As you know, when everything reopens, what's the first tour that you guys are planning on doing?
Okay, so as of right now, and of course, everything is up to change. But as of right now, we have an incredible team that has been able to postpone everything that we didn't do in 2020 to 2021, which is going to be a national with our boys Slightly Stupid again. Also, we're going to be able to do our international accounts now. Again, because this is just we're just making pretend right now because no one really knows. Mm-hmm. What I think is I'm having the most fun understanding what I can control. So what I can control is my reaction to my experience. And so when I approach anything now, I'm just going to be able to say, hey, it's okay. Yeah, this can work. Yeah, it can't work. As far as this being like a new normal, I don't think anything is. Everything is temporary. I mean, you and I are temporary. What we can do, though, is have as much fun as we possibly can in that moment. And I have a hard time nowadays projecting what is going to happen or what I want to happen. Instead, I'm really looking at what can I create now? What is making me feel good now? And so I have the awesome opportunity to just stay where I'm at right now and create. And when things come down the line, because they will, I'll be able to meet them in the moment at that time. And I can't really stress that enough for me. Meeting something in the moment that the moment is really brings all of my focus and my presence to it. Then I can actually really enjoy it versus projecting something or something may happening or may not happening. I relieve that attachment and I just like, you know what? I'm ready to meet anything when that moment is.
That's awesome, man. That's a really good way to look at it. I mean, very positive way to look at it. And I mean, I'm wondering, you mentioned how obviously you guys have been recording since March. I mean, have you used this opportunity since we've been pretty much on lockdown? Have you used this opportunity to go ahead and do any types of acoustic types of shows on social media or anything like that?
Yeah. So I was watching it unfold. And one thing that really is a hard thing for me to do is to put out content that I'm not happy with. Mm-hmm. So I really had to kind of wait for a second to see what was going to like happen as far as like these live performances. And I tell you the truth, I wasn't happy with most that I saw. They didn't sound good. They didn't look good. So it's been very, very, very interesting for me to be able to put anything out like that. So what I have been able to do, though, is a couple of virtual experiences. However, I'm able to pre-record the performance so I know that it looks and sounds exactly the way that I want to. Like, this is like a very big thing to me. We also were able to do something incredible, and I'll make sure that Ryan sends you the link so all of your fans can check it out. We were able to do a closed show live acoustically, set up just like the MTV Unplugged.
Nice.
Yes, and we were able to use a venue that we have been playing forever called the Belly Up in Solana Beach. It's one of the greatest sounding rooms, and we pulled off this incredible live MTV Law Records, by the way, everyone from Law Records joined in performance. And to keep the traffic low, we were able to use studio musicians for all the bands. So the same musicians, like the same drummer, the same bass player, the same guitar player, are all set up on stage, and only 2 people from each band was invited to do this performance. And that was
love it.
Yeah, that was.
This almost sounds like NPR's Tiny Desk concerts.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but the Belly Up, the Law Records at the Belly Up is what we'll make sure that we'll give you this link. It came out so well, and it was also to celebrate the project that we're doing with the Knoll family. I did bring up Sublime earlier because they are such a huge influence on all of this, on all of us and all of this. So the Knoll family and Law Records has put out this incredible compilation of Sublime songs that directly go to the support of the Knoll Foundation, which sets up it's called the House That Brad Built, and it's their space that musicians, anyone, can go with a problem that is not being proactive in their life, and they may have just be hung up. A place that gives them safe refuge, especially, a place that Brad would have needed really bad. And so the Knoll family and their mission to make this space, so anyone who is wanting to get away from the poisons that they're being affected with, they can go and they can have this space. And so all of the proceeds from this album go directly to supporting the Knoll Foundation and all of the bands, not only Law Records, but so many of our friends. Remember, Pepper's like 20 years in the game, so we have a lot of established connections as far as all of the states reggae. And not only that, but we were able to get, amazing Jamaican artists like Half Pint. And so we were able to do Sublime songs acoustically or acoustic based, and then put out this record. And everyone at the Law Records and the Belly Up show was able to do able to do their version of a Brad or Sublime song.
Wow. I got to check that out. Yeah, I definitely, please send me that link. I'd love to share that link. That sounds like an incredible thing that you guys did. When
you have a musician like Sublime, when you have a band like Sublime and a musician like Brad, and how they affected so much, and then you have the opportunity to know that you're working with his family to help anyone that needs it, and you're helping to build a space for them to feel safe in. Now it's like this full circle amazing. So there's a band called The Descendants, a punk rock band that Sublime covered a song called Hope, right, on 40 Ounces to Freedom. You're going to love this. So this is the ultimate as far as like Inception goes. Here's Sublime covering a Descendants song on their 40 Ounces to Freedom. What we were able to do was we were able to hit up the Descendants to cover their version of the song that Sublime did of their song called
Wow.
It is total Inception when you think. And same thing with Half Pint, the song What I Got. That's actually a chorus from Half Pint, it's a Jamaican legend. And so Half Pint was able to do the Sublime version of his original song on this album. So now you just have these like layers upon layers upon layers of all interconnectedness that just completely blow you away. It's like sacred geometry. It's like everything in harmony, lines crossing in different patterns all over the place.
Man, that's I definitely got to check that out, man. And that's really awesome that you guys did that, especially for such a good cause as well. Obviously we know that having a place of refuge for many people that are having issues, especially right now in the pandemic, with so many like mental health issues arising from what's going on, from the solitude, from the quarantine, from everything. It's definitely something that people are going to be looking towards, finding is some sort of refuge somewhere. So it's really cool that you guys were able to go ahead and provide that for many people that need it. So I got to ask, this is the infamous question I ask all my guests. How can people stalk you on social media?
You can, how can they not? It seems like social media is just, it's a wildfire. As Lonnie pointed out, like if you type in Kaleo, it might bring you to a band from Iceland. So for the more direct channel, you can go to kaleolive.com. You can seriously just type in Pepper into your Google search. As far as like socials, at Pepper Live, at Kaleo Wassman, everything's so interconnected. So go ahead and and test yourself out.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, Kaleo, thank you so much for being on the Xander Effect, man. Definitely an honor to have you here, man. Appreciate your time, man. And, I look forward to having you on the show again very soon.
Oh, I would be very, very honored. This has been incredible. Thank you so much for all of the point of views and this co-creating experience that we're able to have right now. And Jeremy, it's fantastic, sharing this time with you. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
I'm a massive fan as well.
Oh,
Lonnie,
back at you.
Lonnie, yeah. I can't wait for a class when you get to teach at the beach, and hopefully I can be there in the future.
Keep sharing the yoga, you and your wife.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And congratulations, Xander, on everything with the show. And you guys just be safe, be healthy, be kind, and be grateful.
Thanks, Kaleo, so much, man. And like I said, hopefully we'll get to have you back on the show again very soon. Coming up next, we got some stuff to talk about in sports, especially the fact of the matter that and MLB, we have the very first female manager of a baseball team in Major League Baseball. We'll talk a little bit about that coming soon. But first, here's Joan Jett and the Blackhearts' Bad Reputation right here on the Xander Effect.
This is AB.
Hey guys, this is Sean Kanan.
What's going on? It's Amanda Holly.
Hey, Jeremy Miller from Growing Pains here.
This is Maxim model Riley Sawyer. And you're listening. And you're listening. And you're listening to the Xander Effect.
Science, Harriet Speed, resignation backward.
accelerated development is insolently proclaimed by the President. If successful, radioactive poisoning of the atmosphere and unintended annihilation of any life on Earth may be involved with the rate of the possibility.
That was the FM's implosion model right here on the Xander Effect. Man, again, thank you so much, Kaleo, for being on the Xander Effect. Pleasure to have you on the show, man. I mean, that was an incredible interview, you guys.
Yeah, what a cool dude.
Yeah, that was great.
Total Renaissance man.
Very, very intrigued. Looking forward to hearing all the new albums and all the different projects they're coming forward with right now. I got to say, the way he talks so passionately about it, it makes you really anxious to listen and hear what they're doing.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I was already like a fan of his earlier music with Pepper, but man, listening to the new single "Stepping Out" with Sabotage Soundsystem, he just follows up with good music, one after the other. So I mean, it's really cool that he's still continuing on, and he's doing so many other projects too. He's got a pretty full plate, in front of him, and he's able to do them all and in such a mellow fashion. I mean, the rest of us, I'd be pulling out my hair, I'd be like going bananas, but he's just like doing it very, one thing at a time. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Like positive energy, very positive individual, man. Definitely enjoyed having him on the show, and hopefully we'll have him on here again very soon. In sports, man, talk about a historic day and a historic moment in Major League Baseball as Kim Ng becomes Major League Baseball's first female general manager to the Miami Marlins. Wow, a historic event. And she actually she's been in the industry for many years, and right now it seems that Marlin CEO Derek Jeter said in a statement, her leadership of our baseball operations, quote, her leadership of our baseball operations team will play a major role in our path towards sustained success. Additionally, her extensive work in expanding youth baseball and softball initiatives will enhance our efforts to grow the game among our local youth as we continue to make a positive impact on the South Florida community. So she's definitely being welcomed with open arms, and this is just a historic day in Major League Baseball. And I mean, Jeremy, you're familiar with her because she came from the Dodgers.
I absolutely am familiar with her. She's one of the most respected minds in baseball operations today. She was a general manager or assistant GM with the Yankees for 1 year. Then she came over to the National League and was with the Dodgers. She also served with the Mets and has also spent the last 9 years as one of the heads of baseball operations for Major League Baseball. This woman has an incredible resume. She's one of the most respected minds in baseball right now. So this is just mad congratulations to her. It is so good to see. Back when she was with the Dodgers, she was considered probably the brightest young mind in baseball.
Man.
So at only 51 years old, she is now the, one of the most powerful women, in baseball. And it's absolutely amazing to see because she deserves it.
Not only is she the first female general manager, she's also the first female Asian of Asian descent.
Absolutely.
General manager. That's another thing that's like really huge right now. And I mean, dude, it's incredible. I mean, Lonnie, your thoughts on this historic event.
Fantastic. Kudos to, I don't know if Derek Jeter had any say in selecting her, hiring her, but if he did, great. For giving her this opportunity. It sounds like she's definitely earned it. And I just have to say, a lot of people have been talking about 2020 just being such a terrible year, but we've seen already women making some huge strides in the professional world, both politically. We can't ignore, what's going on there. And then now here in baseball, Major League Baseball. And let's not forget the assistant coach of the 49ers, Katie Sowers. Is a female.
Absolutely.
Yep. I mean, not only is she a female, she's also part of the LGBTQ community. So that's something else that's very historic. A lot of historic things are going on. I mean, there's definitely a change. The era is definitely changing. In sports, it's evolving.
Do you guys think the Me Too? I'm just posing this question. Do you think the Me Too movement has had anything to do with it?
I think it influenced it a little bit. I think it definitely had some sort of influence in it, because it was one of those things where, for years, women were always looked down upon as the weaker sex, for years, for decades. Women were just, looked as, type of people that basically should be at home, cooking dinner, taking care of the kids, type of things. And it's about time that women are looked at as more than just a maternal figure. I mean, they're not. They're not just that. There's so much more. And you have women that are intelligent, that are driven, that are ambitious. You have women that have incredible ideas, incredible visions. You have visionaries. I mean, that's the reason I always say that I always love working, with women, because they give a sense of creativity. Like, innovation that for some reason it escapes a lot of men. They have this way of looking beyond certain things, and when I work with women, it's like, oh damn, I didn't even think of that. Thank you for that. Thank you for adding that into the fold, because I would have never thought of that. And that's happened to me many times where I'm very appreciative of that. And like I said, I think the Me Too movement definitely had an influence in pushing a lot of these new strides that are going on all around us. I mean, Jeremy, what do you think?
I would have to agree a little bit. I think you have to remember it's also very cultural as well. There are many cultures in this world that tend to give a lot more, and have for much longer than we have here in the 20th century, who have given that respect to women and seen them not only as equals, but the glue that holds society together. There are many cultures that focus on that. I mean, you try going to Italy and telling, the matriarch of that big Italian family that she ain't the one in charge. Let's see what happens to the men in that family when they try and make that argument. It is not going to go very well.
you won't hear from them ever again.
No, you won't be hearing them for them for a while. But, for me, it's a very cultural thing as well. I think it's great to see, as I said when we were talking about this earlier, before we started the podcast, I do believe that one of the reasons, beyond her age, because like I said, Kim Ng was one of the youngest bright minds in baseball, but I do believe one of the reasons it's taken someone who is that well respected this long to be given an opportunity like this is because of her sex and possibly because of her race as well. I mean, the truth is, baseball, being the oldest, is still probably the most silver-haired white man sport when it comes to the ownership and management and everything else. There's been less integration at the top levels of baseball, comparatively speaking to other sports.
Right. And also, let's still, we know that women earn less than men, so that's proven.
Absolutely.
In 2020, I think, was 81 cents for every dollar earned by men. So this is great, but we got a long way to go.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's definitely more room for change in everything, in every aspect when it comes to gender equality. So, really happy that at least this is a huge change and a huge historic event. So, happy for Miami to be making those changes already. And again, happy that they chose such a influential person in Major League Baseball as Kim Ng. So we'll go ahead and keep an eye on that, see how she does everything and how Miami progresses moving forward. In other sports news, looks like the NHL is still trying to figure out exactly how to start their season up. They have a shortened season, that's for sure, a very shortened season. But here's the funny thing is that the shortened season, due to COVID-19 concerns and the safety, still includes a full travel schedule. That doesn't make any sense to me because, I mean, like, traveling and going through airports. I mean, granted, most of these teams may have, private jets and private, their own company airliners and everything to be able to do this. But I don't know. I think that's still kind of a risk. I mean, Lonnie, what do you think?
I think there's a risk, but I mean, if they're going to have a season, I guess a team has to travel to, unless there was like a central location that did the same thing that the NBA did this year and had like Canada, or I'm trying to think of like where would the center of hockey be?
Well, yeah, they can't do it. I mean, it's crazy. They can't do it. They actually, I mean, the NBA was able to like have a bubble, in Orlando and stay in one place, but apparently that's not going to be the case with the NHL.
Well, you have to remember that the bubble for the NBA was really only for that final week and a half, which was, it was only 10 games and then the playoffs. So it looks like they're going after more of the baseball model where they did the shortened season. But what they're doing that's different, a precaution that Major League Baseball did take, was they basically ruled out cross-country travel. So all of the long distance games for interleague and all that kind of stuff were rescheduled or canceled. You really only played the people who were in your division where travel and distances were not as big of a concern.
Right.
So that was a precaution they took. It doesn't look like the NHL is doing that. They could, if they followed that model, you could just stick more to interdivision games. We all know divisions are generally grouped of teams in the same areas, so it would cut down on travel, but we'll have to wait and see what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, right now, I mean, I'm listening to all these experts on the phone, and I have to, the end of the year, fly back to California. It's a scary time to fly right now.
Yeah, most definitely, especially right now with COVID cases on the rise at incredible speed right now. It's definitely a very tumultuous time to be traveling. And I mean, in reference to what you were talking about with the NBA, their new season is starting very soon. It's starting.
Wow, already?
Yeah, already. It's restarting in a couple of weeks already. And the thing is, that's going to be another question. I mean, they're like you said, they're going to go ahead and do the same model as Major League Baseball had, but it's still a risk, though. I mean, because you're still traveling. I mean, it may not be that far from one another, but it's still travel, and you still take risks when you travel. So, I mean, hopefully the NHL will have a better plan when it comes to this. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But in other sports news, Jeremy, you actually had like some pretty big news going on right now from in the NCAA.
Yeah, I actually got two little stories for us here, both pretty good. The first one, of course, is yet another cancellation in NCAA. We already talked about all the SEC cancellations that are happening. Well, Cal has now had their second game canceled, and this time it's against Arizona State. And not because the Cal players are in quarantine again, but because multiple players as well as coaching staff on Arizona State have tested positive, including 66-year-old head coach Herm Edwards.
Oh, man.
I saw that.
So this is, that's a scary thing. Anybody at his age, that is not, that's definitely a much higher risk, but we're seeing this now. I mean, this is what I've been talking about. This is why I've been on my soapbox. It seems like every single week we have more and more and more outbreaks among these teams. And these are kids. We do not know what the long-term repercussions of this virus is going to be on them. And
yeah, we talked about it before.
They're doing
and
this.
I think it's just the nature of younger people too. I might be generalizing here, but I know there was some studies where they're not social distancing in the same way that older people are.
Well, I mean, I can just speak for myself and for having watched my three boys as well. I mean, at that age, you think you're invincible. It's not going to happen to me. It's not going to, I mean, the amount of dumb crap I did at that age, I'm still astounded I'm breathing. So
you and me both. I mean, it's definitely tragic to hear this. And you'd think the NCAA would actually start taking more precautions instead of just giving people the same BS answer. Oh, we care about the safety and security of our players and staff. Really? It shows.
Yeah, I'm not real impressed at this point. And again, they're just proving, as usual, it's all about the bottom line. It's all about the almighty dollar. They've taken advantage of these student athletes for many, many years, and they're perfectly happy to keep doing it. That's what it says to me.
Oh, man. Well, again,
and then we also have a second little one here, and I hate to be the one to have to drop this on you there, Xander.
What?
Oh, no, I'm not liking this.
Dropped at 9:30 this morning. Legend Paul Hornung of Notre Dame and Green Bay has passed away at 84 years old.
Oh, man.
The golden boy of football. And you know me, I despise Notre Dame, but a man as legendary as Paul Hornung, I mean, you're talking about the guy who held the NFL record for most points in a season. He was the last guy who, played quarterback and ran and kicked field goals. And I mean, he was that all around player of that time, that pure Iron Man. And it's a heck of a loss. He had a real impact and was apparently quite the humanitarian as well. So.
Wow.
Oh, man, that's sad to hear, man. That really is. That really is a blow to Notre Dame. Yeah, that's sad to hear.
And the Packers as well. I mean, he was quite the legend for the Packers.
Yeah, he was. And those are both my teams right there. So
those are both your teams, Xander?
Yeah, those are both my teams. The Green Bay Packers and Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And of course, Jeremy's favorite hometown team, UCLA Bruins. Those are my three favorites right there. Pretty much all the teams are against Jeremy.
I'll be nice to you today since you lost a legend.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Hey, but you know what? Don't be too nice because, Notre Dame, UCLA is definitely no match, but Notre Dame, yeah, we got your number every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Keep dreaming, sweetheart. Keep dreaming.
Come on out. Oh, trust me, Lonnie. When college football comes around and it's a normal year, you'll be hearing it from both of us.
The only hope we have this year is if we happen to meet up in the playoffs. So, unfortunately, that great rivalry is being postponed this year smartly. So
because we
cross-country travel.
And smartly also because we don't want to embarrass USC over and over again.
Embarrass nothing. Yeah, you guys are lucky you ain't coming out here this year.
See what I mean? It's the anger that I could hear out of his voice.
That's the funny thing.
Frustration.
Is when it comes to Notre Dame, there's really no anger. For USC fans and Notre Dame fans, there's always been a respect there.
That's cool.
There's now we may dislike each other. It's a great rivalry, but there is a respect there. When it comes to UCLA, there's no respect. There's none whatsoever.
Respect, I tell you, no respect at all.
That's the little brother you scrape off your shoe.
That's funny.
That's such a great example. I hate you so much for that comment because it's unfortunately true at this time. Oh man. Anyways, but going back to that story, it's a tragic loss. Condolences go out to him and to his family during this tough time, and it's another legend gone. But we have to keep on moving forward and keep going. So and going back to what's going on with the NCAA, hopefully they'll go ahead and try to take care of everybody and not just look at the almighty dollar, but that's reaching at this point. And Jeremy, you could definitely concur with that one too. So, we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that. Coming up next in video game news, looks like there are rumors going around that the Xbox Series X is smoking, but that's just a rumor. And we'll talk a little bit about exactly what that rumor is about. But first, here are the Notorious Thugs, the Notorious B.I.G. right here on the Xander Effect.
Bang with us, straight up, no label us notorious. Thug ass that love the bus, it's strange to us. Y'all be scrambling, gambling, up restaurants with mandolins and violins. We just sitting here trying to win, trying not to sin. High off lots of gin, so much smoke need oxygen. Steadily counting them Benjamins. You should too, if you knew what this game would do to you. Been in this since 92. Look at all the bullshit I've been through. So-called beef with you know who. A few female stars or two, then a blue like Mike. Not to be f***ed with, but better duck quick. Cause me and my dogs love it, but the luck strictly aim. No aspirations to quit the game. Spit your game, talk your grab your, pull your clip, squeeze your clip, hit the right one. Pass that, I got the like one. All them, I got to fight one. All them, I got to like one. Our situation is a tight one. What you gonna do? Fight or run? Seems to me that you'll take the bone and big, die slowly. I'ma tell you like you told me. Cash roll everything around me. Lyrically, can't see me. Body cook, cut it, know the boy you call yourself number that would have been in it. Doesn't it seem odd to you? Big come through with mobs and crews, good fellas down to the most of dude. Who's the killer, me or you?
We forgive you, for you know not what you do.
7 a.m. woke in the morning with Henny, caffeine, and green, and nicotine. No dose, so pop a couple of those that are ripped up. Mr. Clean, nigga clean. Deep in my temple and I do get sentimentally stained with my instrumentality. And heated especially for your team in the 45. And D will be in between the scenes. Destroy your dreams, you willing to die. We'll see. How many feasts when it calls the scene? We mean mug, mode, trying to be perfect. Disciples with its survival tongue of a double-edged sword. Triple, 6 rivals spitting fire. It's the real truth. Breaking out for lies, my massage. Better be ready for Armageddon. Shit expired. It's wild, blessed. The child that whatever became a man. Put in positions already paid. All that I had to do was stay. Test me now. Contend never else I run. I not pretend. Pick up my pen and my hand. None of my trusted friend. Hey, open the left, see it for real. We all suited, beg my pardon in the morning. Maybe we ain't marching, we shooting and they recruiting. There's a football. Every day in the ghetto, we start them up there and hit them a bottle and a pen and plant to hit the level. Kick
to the dance line, to the dome with a shot of burn. Never go back in the curve, me feeling that urge to stir. But I'm broke as and give me that mouse bird swerve. Over to my bag, cause I gotta get my mask and shells to put in this 12 gauge. So don't get them all off, get y'all lost, take it all off. Cold off, but the bone, I love the face, and taking the cut. And the more up and I'm pulling in nothing. Bitch, if you're slipping with bucking, I'm good, that's fucked up. Now let me get done with the crime, cause I go purchase a dime. Put in the state to get done with the crime. Smoking the to ease my mind, sweet some wine. Step on the block with the rocks, but really me serving them dumb and see. Gotta come on down if it come back talking like give me back my money. Thugging with me, killers need us a leader, but look at what nothing got. But it's all on popcorn, so they get so now who ready to get back? Like me leaning for them green leaves, but I ain't got no dough. Gotta make some money, so I'm making my dummy rocks if I go broke.
It's on it, big it, big it. It's on it, rock it, big it. It's on it, rock it, big it. It's on it, big 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 it, big it. Let's ride, let's ride, let's ride. Come on, let's ride, let's ride, let's ride, let's ride. Yeah, little like Hank coming in the form of scripture. Finna get you and hit you with magic. Dropping out links, but I call them my gadgets. With automatic status, we spread that load the glass. But I'm thinking now, it's another E4 telling me to do what I gotta do. So I up my pipe and down tonight. And I'm always running for the boys in blue. Biggie booze, I'm out about the sailor phone. The car bone was hiding. Grab a tiller in, I'm packing. Cause I'm try to get me in the jacket. And I did him. Hit him right between the eyes. Spot was wide. Wanna test size that it cost him. Around with the rock. Jogging, more murdered all day, all day. We done played away and I'm on the run. I'ma call my boys and bring all the guns. Y'all wanna have a little fun with number one. But it red, red, rum, 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 rum. But it red, red, rum, 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 rum. But it red, red, rum. It's on it, big it, big it. It's on it, rock it, big it. It's on it, rock it, big it. It's on it, big 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 it, big it. Ride, let's ride, let's ride, let's ride. Come on, let's ride, let's ride, let's ride, let's ride.
Guys, this is Ariane Celeste.
This is Larry Naemar, the founder of E! Entertainment Television.
Hi, this is Maricela Cornell.
Hey, how's it going? This is Polo Molina.
Hey, yo, what's up? This is the Xander Effect, and I am the DJ KID, the Kick the Creek. Welcome to the place to be. Hey.
You didn't walk up with that how you
all melting. Damn, fresh that beach and I up on board like a traffic jam. Yeah. I was quick to pay that girl like Uncle Sam. Here you go, ayy, take it on me. Ayy, started craving on me, get the beating on me. She waited on me, damn. Started caking on me, got the bacon on me. This is history and I'm making on me. Point blank, close range, that feed. If it goes a million, that's me. I was getting moolah, baby.
Havana, ooh, nah, nah. Half of my heart is in Havana, ooh, nah, nah. He took me back to East Atlanta, nah, nah, nah. All of my heart is in Havana. My heart is in Havana. Take me back, back, back. Take me back, back, back. Take me back, back, back. Take me back, back, Havana, ooh, nah, nah. Half of my heart is in Havana, ooh, nah, nah. He took me back to East Atlanta, nah, nah, nah. All of my heart is in Havana. My heart is in Havana. Havana, ooh, nah,
Hey, this is Dovely, and you're listening to Xander Dames on The Xander Effect.
Señorita, you know, I've been looking for you all of my life, and I just want to let you know that if you love me, you love me. If you don't love me, then tell me you don't love me. Hey, some people say we don't need nobody to lean on. I don't agree though. Mamas have papas and papas have mamas, and people need people. Opposites equal. A baby so little. There's a chapel somewhere. Where? On a hill in San Pedro, overlooking the ocean, with a gazebo for a male and a female, hoping that he will propose to a face-to-face, hand-to-hand, body-to-body, and not through an email. Used to have problems with details. Now I know what you're wearing, like I've been working for women's retail. We going for a ride. Why don't you fasten your seatbelt? We will never forget or never regret the stuff that we said as we walked in the aisle through the altar, straight out the church into the caucus. It's an event. Marriage was meant. A man and a woman. I gotta stand up for something. Head over heels, like I fell on the steps. My head is still spinning from tumbling. Man, I'm just rambling, huh? And they say I don't know nothing, huh?
Maybe I'm dumb when it comes to
Baby, I've been calling you, hoping that you let me through. Maybe I can talk to you. And possibly you say I do. But you just let it ring, 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 ring. Come on, girl. If you would wear this ring, 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 ring.
Hey, I'm assuming you love me. Woman, you want me. Why don't you tell me? I come when you call me. There's something about you that plays with my heartbeat. There's something about you makes you feel like I'm melting. No matter what you say, nothing can stop me. Girl, you can help me. Don't take a selfie without me. Tell me about you like there's nothing about me. There's so much that you possess. Let me do your accounting. What would you say if I wish you away? Pick you up from the job in the middle of the day in a helicopter with some tickets to a play or an opera. Right before we get there, and some lobster or a plate full of pasta. Then I hug you while I'm planning to surprise you. After the embrace, stand up in the place, get right up in your face. Then I stop you, get on one knee so everyone can see I'm in the posture. Take it out my pocket, then I open a little box up. Got that expression on your face like you just won an Oscar. Couldn't imagine my life without you.
Baby, I've been calling you, hoping that you let me through. Maybe I can talk to you. Possibly you say I do, but you just let it ring, 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 ring. If you would wear this ring, 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 ring.
It's plagiarism, yeah. that you do and act like you're true. I did that to you, girlfriend. It's plagiarism, yeah. To say that you care and act like you're there. You stole my idea, girlfriend. Lately I've been calling you, hoping that you let me through. Maybe I can talk to you, and possibly you say I do. But you just let it ring, 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 ring. If you would wear this ring, 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 ring. Lately I've been calling you, hoping that you let me through. Maybe I can talk to you, and possibly you say I do. But you just let it ring, 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 ring. If you would wear this ring, 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 ring. Hey, hey.
That was John Doe's Ring right here on the Xander Effect. In video game news, it looks like, obviously we all know that this week was the release of both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. And apparently there are internet trolls online that are faking Xbox Series X problems, with the system and everything by showing like memes and videos of the Xbox smoking after its use. And there is an explanation to that. Apparently, it's actually there's actually people that are blowing vape smoke into the system to make it look like it's smoking, like it's spontaneously combusting. So that's interesting because I actually just got I spoke with a buddy of mine online on multiplayer, because I play with other people from online, and he was like, Xander, did you get the new Xbox? I was like, no, not yet. It's like, don't. It catches fire automatically. And Bubba was like, really? I was like, I heard, I got an alert on my phone actually about something having to do with that. And it's not true. It's actually completely false. It's just, these internet trolls that are doing that. And Xbox released a tweet that was hilarious. The tweet read, quote, "We can't believe we have to say this, but please do not blow vape smoke into your Xbox Series X."
Those darn internet trolls, I tell you.
Well, you gotta realize one of the biggest challenges in the video game market right now is, as the processing power required to run these incredible spectacle of games is going up and up, it's becoming harder and harder and harder for them to cool them down quick enough. If you've ever played a video game on a gaming laptop, those things will give you a third degree. They'll give you a third degree burn on your legs.
Yeah, they really do.
Because it generates so much heat with the processing power. So it's already been talked about. Both Microsoft and Sony addressed the heating issues right after the initial test models were sent out. It was addressed that they both ran really, really hot. People were talking about how if you left your Xbox or your PS5 on, it would heat up your room. And those have been addressed. And yes, it's basically true. That's why they've tried to increase the fan power and different things along those lines. But the back and forth between Xbox and PlayStation, you always have the fans who are going to screw with the other guys. So you're going to have those trolls who want to make it look like, oh no, see, this is what they're going to do. You want to come over and play with us, And the truth is, it's the rivalry. And the truth is, they did the testing on the specs, and they both run, I believe, within a couple of degrees of each other. And PlayStation actually does run slightly hotter. But again, these are things that have been addressed from the time they started developing these consoles. This is not a new problem. This is not something these engineers did not know to expect. So they're not gonna be releasing something that's going to spontaneously combust in your living room.
Exactly. They're not. They definitely don't want a lawsuit like that. That's for damn sure. So
right.
But that's not to say that there are bugs that are going on, because in other video game news, PlayStation 5 is actually suffering from a download queue bug. And this is according to Joe Screbbles from IGN.com. He went ahead and did an article on this, and he basically said, quote, PS5 is suffering from a bug that causes games and apps to be caught in a, quote, queued for download or error state, with the only current fix seemingly to factory reset the console. The bug, which has been suffered by at least 3 members of IGN staff among many reports popping up, appears to occur when a product is first set to download. The bug can then seemingly take 2 forms, either listing the game or app as queued for download or as having suffered a download error. Both will prompt you to check the downloads menu, which then shows nothing. So, I mean, PlayStation's also that's a legitimate issue that PlayStation is actually going through right now, and I mean, but this was expected. In every new technological product that you get, most of the time when they first come out, people are in such a fury to be the first to own, you know, the consoles, like we spoke about in the last episode. Be the first to own this, the first to own that they don't realize that there could be some technical issues that can arise from the very first products that are shipped out. I mean, when the Xbox 360 first came out, I was one of the first people to buy the 360, and sure enough, it wasn't really that long. It was considerably long after I purchased it. I got the 3 rings of death that they call it. Now, the 3 rings of death basically means that the console crashed. And there's nothing you could do about it. It won't turn on. It won't do anything. When that happens, you have to actually send it back to Microsoft so they could either fix it or send you a different console. And that's exactly what happened with me. Of course, you had to be within the warranty time of it. But if you sent it back after the warranty, you're screwed. Like, you either have to buy a brand new one or you have to pay somebody to fix it.
Right, even though it was a technical glitch they built into it.
It's stupid. It's really stupid. And I think to be honest with you, I think they changed that policy, after receiving complaints of exactly what you just said, Jeremy. And I believe Microsoft changed that policy as well.
Well, it's one of the reasons why at that time, after I had to send my second one back, I bought my third one from Best Buy, because at the time they were offering an even longer warranty. So by the 3rd ring of death I was able to just walk in and have them hand me a new one. But yeah, it was rather frustrating.
I mean,
can I just say, you guys are way more patient than me. I would have been like, enough of this. Seriously.
See, that's the game. That's the gamer life. You can't just give up like that.
And they know they got you. Exactly. They know you're dying to play those games.
Yep. So. It's like crack. It's literally like crack. They know.
It sounds like it.
They gave you a taste, and now you're hooked. You can't say no to it. So I mean, and you have to I mean, especially right now in the pandemic, everybody's at home. They're looking for something to do, and this is their opportunity. Because the cool thing about these consoles is that they don't just serve as platforms to play video games. They're also platforms for various apps. I mean, on my Xbox One alone, I have Netflix, I have HBO Max, I have Hulu, I have Amazon Prime, I have all these other apps, to watch movies. I mean, it's connected to my television set, so I could switch from the Xbox to regular TV. I mean, it's got so many different aspects of it. You could listen to Spotify. Like, Spotify was just added to Xbox One now, so you could listen to Spotify. You could also listen to the Xander Effect on Xbox One too. So I mean, shameless plug there. So it just has so many various applications to it that it doesn't serve just one purpose. So, I mean, for example, if God forbid, I'm knocking on wood right now as I'm saying that, my Xbox One were to crash on me, I'm screwed. I have no Roku. I have nothing else. My system has all my apps that I usually watch TV on. I would actually have to settle for sitting down and listening to my thoughts, and nobody wants to hear that. So, I mean, you could ask Jeremy. I mean, I would have to resort to actually calling Jeremy to listen to somebody to talk to.
And nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that ever. I mean, I don't want that. Jeremy doesn't want that. So, I mean,
I talk to you enough as it is.
Exactly.
Right?
You know,
You guys are going to lunch and doing everything.
Well, that's because you're not here, Lonnie.
You've got a bromance going.
Yeah, but you're not here. See, we'd love to have lunch with you too, but you're not here. You're all the way out in Pittsburgh, and
I want to go to Doghouse when I come back to LA. By the way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we got to go ahead and sit down and, get together here. I mean,
luncheon. Yeah.
I mean, exactly. We'll write it off. We'll go ahead and call our executive producer and just say, this is on your dime. It's a write-off. So, yeah. But I mean, the other plan is as well, or the hope is that next year for my birthday, Vegas, baby, all of us.
I like it.
We gotta go.
We will see. We will see, baby.
Oh, don't you do that? Don't you do that? I mean, don't do that right now.
I'm always down for Vegas.
Right. See, Lonnie's down.
Always.
Hey, brother, you know me. I'm always down for Vegas, but I'm always cautious as well. And Vegas is where people tend to lose their minds and lose their inhibitions. And right now, with this going on, that's not a plus for me.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I would definitely not go I want to go as soon as I start seeing that things start getting better. That things start getting under control. That's what I want to see. I want to see some sort of level of control where the numbers are dwindling by the hundreds of thousands before I go anywhere. I mean, that's my number one concern right now is the health. My actual concern is the health and safety of everyone else. Especially my loved ones. I got my dad. I got your fiance Joni. Your mom, Nigel, your brother, you. I'm kind of. I'm always concerned, even though
you don't have to lie. You can tell him. You can tell him. You can write me off, no problem.
I mean,
you just want to keep the family.
Wow, the jig is up. Who told you about my plan, huh?
Oh, you think you have such a poker face.
This guy right here. But anyways, getting back to the topics, and we totally veered off on that one. Getting back to the topics in hand. Yeah, like I said, PS5 is suffering from their own bugs, so hopefully they'll go ahead and get that under control. That's the news. In case you haven't heard it, thank you so much for listening to the Xander Effect. I wanted to go ahead and again thank our wonderful guest Kaleo for being on the show. Had a blast. Thanks for coming on again, man. And again, shout out to Ronnie King for making that happen. Amazing producers, worked with so many people. I have interviewed him before. You got to go ahead and check out Spotify for that interview as well. And I'd like to go ahead and definitely thank my wonderful co-host for being on the show today, starting off with Miss Lonnie Rivera. Thank you so much for being here with me.
What a great show. Happy Friday the 13th.
I know, right? Be careful out there. Make sure you cross your fingers and try to, have a 4-leaf clover if you can find it. And if not, a 3-leaf clover, just add a leaf to it. You'll be fine. And also, Mr. Jeremy Miller, thank you so much for being here, even though I hate you a lot.
Always a pleasure to be on here to talk to Lonnie.
Yeah.
You see, Lonnie, the love is in fact there.
I appreciate it.
See, you're both our favorites, even though we're not each other's.
I feel it cross country.
Right? So, but make sure, folks, we're definitely in a pandemic. There is a spike going on. There is a surge, unfortunately, going on in the entire world, the entire nation. Please be careful out there. Make sure you wear your masks, wear gloves if you got them, goggles if you got them, if you got to go out, practice, basic hygiene. Make sure you watch yourselves, not only for yourselves, but for your loved ones. And remember, music always, always heals all. We'll see you next time.
Yo, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't open that mouth. Sure that she's talking and open that mouth. If it say something, you go in the out. And then there's something that's something that out. And then it's got and it's part of this something that got it. Something that that's and it's got it. And then we done it and then we go loud. And it say something, you open the out.
The Xander Effect is powered by 50/50 Global Music Inc., Sony Music The Orchard, in association with Art 19 Media.